Hello, everybody. Welcome to Look Into the Glass. Today is another beautiful day. Well, it's a little bit more than a beautiful day. It's a hard day and a little bit of a heavy day for some of us here at Looking Through the Glass right now. I don't know exactly how to do this intro, but we're going to talk about pets and their impact and how they impact us on a daily life and what happens when they go missing, what happens when we miss them. So we're gonna just kind of go into that. That's about the best way I can explain it for you guys. Hopefully you understand it. And today we have Vandana again. Thank you so much for being on. And she's gonna help us with different little, just some knowledge based on different cats, feline energy, and what they're capable of doing. How about we start there?
Awesome. I mean, I love it. I think that in my experience, cats have been the most healing pet I've ever had. I had a couple of poodles in my younger days, and I've always had this like weird, irrational fear of cats. I think because my mother growing up was afraid of them, she didn't trust them.
Mhm.
And not until about, let's see, 23 years ago, I was put in a situation, Spirit put me in a situation where my manager had to give away all of her animals, all of the pets. Um, and she asked me and several other employees, can you take my cat? Can you take my dog? Can you take my fish? Can you take my bird? I think she even had a horse. And that I couldn't have
Those aren't easy
handled
to
in my
find homes for.
Yeah, and I was, at that time, my son who's on the spectrum, he was 12, and I had been divorced from his dad for about 4 years, and I just like it was. I think he was still in his recovery phase of adjusting to,
Yeah.
the different family life, and anyway, I kept reading that pets for people on the spectrum who have autism or other types of things going on neurologically, or neurodiverse people, um, that is actually would be very healing, a healing benefit. And so I kind of talked him into it. He didn't want one, and I never had a cat, so I didn't even know how to relate to a cat. So it was a learning curve, I think, for both of us. She had already like two litters, and she was only a year and a half. And my boyfriend at the time was a cat person, so he kind of slowly entrained me to the cat world. And he had a very loving cat that was more of a dog personality, so he was a lap cat and a purring cat. And we know that that healing vibration
Yes, it is.
is everything for people who are struggling or wounded or just really dysregulated. And I thought, okay, well, his cat, whose name was Brown, I thought, well, like he kind of helped me to like release some of my fear, so I didn't feel that way about all cats. And then I was just, I just talked my son into it because I really did think that a pet would be very healing for both of us. And I
Mhm.
was right, but so I had to do a little, kind of maneuvering there, manipulation, and just say, well, we could just keep it for a while. And if you really don't like it, I'll just send it back, which I knew was not going to happen. And then, yeah, we named her Maya, and she was in our lives for about 17 years. And then when she was about a year and a half, we got Sydney, and they were like kind of like mother and son, even though he was three times the size, but she was really scary. Like she could be really scary. He had a very mellow personality. He was very zen-like. He would just meditate with his like this. No, I'm just kidding.
Come in to see your cat.
And yeah, so but what I wanted to share is even though at first it was strange because we were like laying in on the couch one day and the cat was just like she was a climber, she was a jumper, very athletic. My other cat, no, he couldn't jump up anywhere. Like basically, he was just very to the ground. But anyway, after we got used to having a cat in the house, he started really loving her, and it was very, very healing for him. And I still think that he is grieving. I know I am, but people on the spectrum or people who are neurodiverse and that population, they usually grieve a little differently than we do, as their brain functions differently. Yeah, and so cats are psychic. They are super sensitive, empathic. They know ahead of time what's going to happen before it happens. Their sixth senses are amazing. Plus, I have this course that I teach called Pets and Empaths, and the chakra system is even different in a cat. So they have eight chakras, eight physical chakras on their body instead of seven. So they're even more advanced, and they
Yeah.
definitely come from a different dimension. A lot of people say that they're from this cat planet called Lyra, which were like the first beings. They were kind of like a hybrid between like humans and cats, like the cat people kind of thing. And there is a soul group of people that I call like the cat people. And that if you are in that family, like there's no like second guessing, like, is that me or not? Because you always need to have a cat. Like once you have one cat, you have to always have cats because they are so special. And then what I respect about cats is that they make you earn their respect.
Yes,
You
they
have to earn their
do.
respect.
They
And
absolutely do. And that's one thing
they
I
don't
kind of like about horses because they make you earn their respect too.
And I wish I could come close to a horse because there's equine healing with
Mhm.
Reiki, and you
Yeah.
see a lot of YouTube videos with that. And I wish I could, invite a horse to work with me when I offer Reiki to a client lying on a table. But there's lots of YouTube videos. There's this one woman that I always see, and the horse is like nuzzling, like it actually is with its lips and nose, like touching the different points where
Hmm.
the horse is sensing like an imbalance or an illness. Um, Mind blowing, right? And it's like, oh my God, I would love to experience that myself. But cats too, like I attuned both of my cats to the Reiki master level. So they were both Reiki practitioners. I mean, Reiki's for everyone, like all
Yeah.
beings, all sentient beings. But my first cat, Maya, was so psychic that she was called in like the I guess in the occult, like magic
Yeah.
or Wicca, whatever you want to call it. They call a cat like that a spiritual helper, an ally, a familiar. So,
Hmm.
and she was black, of course, both my cats were black. And um, she was actually black and white with white on her over her heart chakra. And when I would
Wow.
offer tarot readings, she would like put her paw on a particular card for my client. And I would say, okay, my cat just picked the card for you. And it was always right. It was always spot on, like exactly the message that they needed to hear.
It's kind of
Um,
funny, not to interrupt you, because
yeah,
when I do tarot, my cat jumps on my desk a lot,
yeah,
and I had no
yeah.
idea that's like that could be her trying to be part
Mhm.
of the reading itself. I never
Yeah,
thought about that. I had no idea
yeah.
because she really does. She jumps up. I have a one-eyed cat. I saved her. She was 1 pound and like skin and
Um,
bones, and her name is Jinx. And she had been attacked, so she has a thoracic injury that I have to give her Mullen all the time to keep from liquid from filling
oh,
up her lungs.
her
Um,
lungs. Yeah,
but
yeah.
her name is Jinx, and she's a tortoiseshell, so black with orange, and yeah.
Oh, so cute.
But yeah, she is when I was doing a lot of my trauma healing, when you're trying to get in control of those sporadic cries. And so I was doing I would take my bath, my spiritual bath, and I would do trauma healing, and I would make myself cry. She's just right up there, purr, 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 won't leave me alone, almost getting into the bathtub with me like that
I
hardcore.
yes.
And
Yes, yes, that's
but I'm sorry,
beautiful.
I didn't mean to interrupt you on what you were saying. I was just like,
No,
wow, my cat has
it's
jumped
okay.
on my, and Giselle's cats have jumped on her table multiple times while her and I, like while we were doing readings and stuff.
And you can also, yes, and so very likely that she's your soul cat,
Oh yeah,
she's your familiar, that's what it's called. So kind of like a spiritual assistant or a helper, or a guide, because yes, cats see things that we can't see with the human eye.
absolutely.
They hear things that we can't hear. So they're already like on a higher dimension. And they also, I mean, animals were here before people, so they're definitely much more ancient than we are. But I always felt very protected when I had cats. Um, and what the bond between human and animal, I mean, they're our children. They're our babies,
Yes.
our fur babies. And when a cat goes missing, uh, it's it's like your child just was kidnapped, God forbid.
Yeah.
And when they pass into spirit, like when my cats died, it was like the hardest, the worst day of my life. I already have pet trauma from when I was 13 years old, and my poodle died getting his teeth cleaned
Oh,
in a standard vet checkup.
standard.
He
Yeah.
had a cardiac
Unfortunately,
arrest.
as
Cardi,
a vet tech, unfortunately, sometimes when you put
yeah.
them under, you just don't know.
Yeah, and this was many, many years ago. It's much better now. The medical field is much more advanced now, thank God. But at that time, it probably wasn't great. And what's weird is he was only 7. And it wasn't like an older dog that we even knew had a heart issue.
Hmm.
And so it was shocking to the
Yeah,
nervous
very
system. And
much
that's what I
so.
mean when we're separated from them, because we have that human animal bond. It's inherent. It's like in our DNA. I mean, how many lifetimes and how many of our ancestors had dogs or cats or animals that they cared for. So, and I do believe that we have contracts with them as well. And I talk about that in that course, the Pet and Empaths course. I could always send you the link that you
Yes,
could
please do.
drop into the thing.
Absolutely.
So there are contracts. There are definitely these, on a soul level. We know everything happens on a soul level. So on a
Mhm.
soul level, we make these contracts before we even come in, before we even have a body, with these particular animals. And then, there's the concept of reincarnation, which I do believe in.
That is it.
I did ask my 21-year-old cat Sydney, who we lost last year, that was like in even worse pain. I mean, not that you can compare pain levels or not to even judge that, but it just felt like a bigger, because we had been caring for him for a year and watched him gradually decline.
Yeah.
And we did a lot of suffering and a lot of sleepless nights till the very end. And I didn't want to put him down. I was like, I'm not going to do it to you. I'm not going to do it to you. And I had to do it
Yeah.
because that was the humane thing. And he was already suffering
I think that
terribly.
that right there in its
So,
own, that decision making on its own is one of the hardest things to do as a pet owner and as a pet parent. I recently had to put down a dog and I didn't even like the dog. I just kept her because she was wolf and nobody freaking knew how to handle a wolf like her. She was so alpha. So, but I mean, but I still loved her, we still loved each other,
yeah.
but it wasn't something that I wanted her to find a home from the very beginning. Giselle and I had rescued the entire litter. And as she was so alpha, even as a very young puppy, I knew that she couldn't go to just anybody. She needed to go with somebody that understood animal behavior. So
Yes.
I ended up being the one that ended up keeping her. And even though
Aw.
I had to put her down a few months ago, um, she was we live in Texas and she was an allergic dog. She had allergies and because I
Um,
switched food, I've tried vitamins, I tried shampoos, I tried conditioners, I tried
everything.
every single thing. But anytime, even with flea medicine out here in Texas, they still get bit. And one little bite, and being a wolf, he was all up into everything, you know. So it was just, and then she had a really bad ear infection. So it was kind of those
Mm.
two combined because of the way her body was so inflamed. It caused the ear infection. I thought it was just only on the outside, so I was doing like, doing taking care of the skin, but it went way
Yeah.
deep.
It
But
was internal.
yeah, it was an internal ear infection, and the vet looked at me because I had taken her to seven different vets. I have done like, and as a vet tech myself,
Wow.
I done all kinds of things, and it just the past year, she had gotten so much worse. She's literally making herself bleed because she was scratching so bad, and her fur was falling out.
Oh,
And so it was, thank
it's
God.
heartbreaking. It can really be heartbreaking, but
Yeah.
it could also be so beautiful and so healing and so rewarding. The
Hmm.
bond that we form with them, it's incomparable. It's like I feel like I cried more like when my cats passed and when my mother passed. And I know that sounds crazy, but my mother and I had our issues. She was also in another state, so she wasn't, living with me. She wasn't visiting often. It was like a very touch and go relationship for many years. And I thought, wow, that's how deep the bond goes
That
between,
is.
us and them. Yeah.
Giselle, would you like to chime in?
Yes, please. You just read my mind. You must be psychic or something.
You and I have been talking. It's Giselle, would you like to chime in because this episode is actually for Giselle?
Yes, it's dedicated to Giselle.
So I've had to make the tough decision several times with several animals. I love them. All dogs, cats. Cats I've been particularly more drawn to than dogs. I've had a bond from one dog that it was supposed to be my brother's, but she ended up being mine.
You ended up
um,
being the whole family, so yeah.
when we
At
had
one
to make,
point in time.
yeah,
Sorry, go
and
ahead.
with her, it was an extremely difficult decision, but it was the only decision. She had cancer, and it spread, and it was in her lungs. It was no coming back from that, and it was a beautiful thing because it brought everybody in the family. It was everybody in the
Closer.
family that was there for
All
her.
there for her.
There was one phone call to each of us, to everybody, and everybody was like, "We'll be there." And we took her to the park, spent those last special moments, gave her some whipped cream because why not? And
Oh
giving
my God,
her,
I'm gonna cry.
and those
I'm
moments.
getting emotional.
I'm sorry.
No, me
No, it's
too.
okay. Like this is good because I don't grieve enough. I haven't grieved enough for them because I'm always like, I have to be the strong one,
Yeah.
and like this too shall pass, and always outer focused on healing everybody else, but it's like it's good tears. It's therapeutic. So please go ahead.
Yes.
She was one dog that man, she was my everything. I loved her. You can just like, I taught her to just walk next to me where she didn't have to have the leash, and she was my best friend. And like now that I have a baby, I was like, I wish she was here so she could see the baby. I know she would love it. And so I have those moments. Her name was Rosie. She was she was awesome.
Rosie.
Yes, she was just the most amazing little. She was Pit, and she was just the most amazing dog. And so that was a really,
Um,
really rough time. And still to this day, I cry over her and say how much I miss her.
Can I just
And
interrupt with one thing that Rosie used to do when she lived with me? She would get her energy would get ramped up, and so she would do old lady laps around my house with this big old smile
oh,
on her face. She would just do her old lady
oh.
laps around my house. But it was the funniest thing on earth. I was like, here's Rosie with her daily old lady laps.
That's so cute.
I
Oh,
just,
I could
I
just
just to
picture
give
that
people
actually.
just to give people a little bit of understanding of how wonderful Rosie's personality really was, and that there was so much human personality in there too. Sorry to
She
interrupt
was
yourself.
chaotic. She was
Yes.
chaotic too, because when we lived with my mom, she broke through the window to get out of the room. She
Oh
was,
my God. What?
she was like, I don't want to be in here anymore. She broke through the window, and my mom
Yep.
was texting me, "Get your dog."
I see. Wow. So she made you laugh. She brought people closer
Oh
in your
yeah,
family. She was a healer,
she
and that's
was.
what all animals are.
Absolutely.
But specifically to this conversation, I think cats, because they're not just going to love you unconditionally. You have to prove that you're a worthy person. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Like they're our caretakers more than the other way around. You know what I mean? They live
Hmm.
with us. We don't live with them. Like, no, we live with
We
them.
live with
So
them.
they're
Yeah.
like they're in charge
Yes,
of us, actually.
cats will
Hmm.
help.
So they're like just doing us a favor by being in our lives, by showing up. That's why I asked my last cat, like, I asked both of them if they could reincarnate if they were able to please do so. And I know that that has happened to a lot of pet parents where they'll say, like, it's just the soul, it's just the eyes, the way he looks at me or she, the way, like, the things like his behavior, her behavior, it like reminds me so much of my other cat or, even dog that I lost. So
Yes.
I'm just waiting for that reincarnation to occur. Like, so the conditions in the universe can all come together and align.
Yeah.
It hasn't happened yet, but I also know that I think we're not completely ready for that either, because it's like a big, big responsibility, as you know. So, Giselle, did you want to mention anything else about your experiences?
So
I'm bringing this back.
as you're talking about the reincarnation, I had one cat. His
Yeah.
name was Jersey, and that one, that one hurts. But my connection to him was something else. I picked him from a picture. I worked at a certain place, and one of my coworkers was like, "I'm trying to get rid of these cats," and he sent me pictures, and I was like, "That one." I just seen this gray tabby, and I was like, "That one. That's my cat." I brought him home, and my mom was trying to steal him. But he wouldn't let her. He was mine. He was meant to be mine, and
Oh,
he was a polydactyl, so he had the extra toes, and
oh, wow.
he was even unique, and he had this beautiful bright green eyes, and he had this beautiful
Hmm.
gray tabby coat that was just he was just gorgeous. And
Oh,
when he was about 4 years old, I had to put him down because he ended up having kidney failure. I went to the vet, and this one vet was like, "Oh, he's going into it. Just give him this and this." Come to find out, he already had lost one kidney and was losing his other. And they said, we can do surgery routes, but there's no guarantee you can come back from this. And doing the humane thing, I was like, I can't let him suffer. I had to take a week to make the decision. And in that week, I was pumping him with fluids, poking him with a needle every day, several times a day.
3 times a day, and giving them fluids that way, and yeah,
And
and
I
then
was like, this is not a way to live, not for him,
it's
not
not
for
a
me.
quality of life that they
Exactly.
deserve.
And so
exactly.
I had to make that decision. And when I had to put him down, that was probably the hardest
Yes,
and
I hear you.
traumatizing.
Yep. It's
So
loss. It's grief and loss. It's real.
It is real. It is absolutely real. It is just as real as losing a brother, sister, cousin. You know,
Because the relationship, the connection is
deep.
soul based, it's heart based. There are no conditions,
Mm-mm.
There is just loyalty and devotion and pure love.
he had
And
so much personality. And
yes,
he did. He had facial expressions, okay, for a cat.
yeah,
And like my husband always made fun of him because he was like he's so sophisticated because he would like cross his paws and
that's so cute.
but when you say the
Aw.
reason why I come with the reincarnation is because I had a cat that gave birth to three litters, and
Oh.
she kept getting out of the house, and the appointments were set out so far, and she kept getting out of the house. And
Mm-hmm.
her second litter, I kept three kittens, from two from the first litter and one from the second litter. Her third litter unfortunately didn't survive.
I'm sorry. That
And
sucks.
and I was not a fan of this cat. This was my husband's cat, was not a fan of this cat.
Right.
She had her special qualities though, you know. She was supposed to
Yeah.
be a male too. She wasn't. But
Okay.
in her second, when the one that I kept from her second litter, I had a conversation with him, full on conversation with him. They were in my bathroom, and I just looked at him, and he looked into my eyes, and I was like, "You are something special."
Explain
And
how old he was when that happened.
he was only a couple weeks. He just had opened his eyes.
He's
He had
about 10
just
days
opened
old.
his eyes, and I just immediately connected. I already connected from the moment he was born, but the more, because he was this creamy orange, like he was a very pale orange. It was like creamy colored, and he's a tabby as well. And it just felt that connection with him, and then just we met, our eyes locked, and he has this beautiful like amber golden eyes, and I was like, well, what is your name? I asked him what his name was, and people can think I'm crazy for that. I don't
We
care.
are
He,
crazy. It's looking through the glass, okay?
I don't, I think that's the most thoughtful thing that I've ever heard of, and kind and humane,
I,
to actually ask him what would you like me to call you? I actually did that with my first cat on the way home when we were taking him home on the subway. My cat said, looked at her and said, what's your name? What would you, because we changed the name because it was like a horrible name and we didn't want to call her by the same name. And then we just got Maya and it just felt right.
yeah.
So yeah, please continue.
So I asked him, what is your name? And he said
Mm,
Ted. And I was like, okay, we're gonna call you Ted then.
Tired?
And
That's so cute.
and he came running to me when I called his name across the house. Cats don't come running to their name 90% of the time, and from every cat
Unless
I've
you got
ever owned.
food.
Unless you have food. No, I just said Ted Ted, and he comes running across the house, and he jumps up on the couch, and he's laying with me. After bringing home the baby, he would lay between, on the pillow that I had the baby on when I'm feeding, and would lay just on the other side. He, I
Aw,
100% feel that he was my Jersey reincarnated, and
yes.
And the whole reason why Jersey was named Jersey was off of a food chain company. We were eating the sandwiches, and he ate a jalapeno off of our pet wrapper, and he was like, "Okay, that's not for me." But that's how we came up with Jersey. But I think that his name was solely Ted, and I do believe that Jersey came back to me. And now that
That's beautiful.
And then, Ted slowly became an indoor outdoor cat. I let him outside. He slowly, because his mom was slightly wild, so he started going in
Mm,
and out of the house. And so right now he's missing, and I'm I'm trying to think best positive thoughts of maybe he's just in somebody's home, somebody took him home. Yes, he's my cat, but I'm okay if somebody else took him home. It's extremely
How long is it? How long has it been?
between the house, everybody in the house. I saw him Wednesday morning, and everybody else is saying that they haven't seen him for a couple of days as well. So it's been a couple of days.
Okay, so it's not been longer than a few days. Okay, because I was told that it could be up to a week, but okay. So that's not that long, and I'm sure that you've knocked on doors and asked your neighbors, and have you put up any signs yet
Not
that
yet.
he's missing?
Normally, when he goes outside, he stays around the house. He likes to hang out around on the property itself. He goes up to the front,
Mhm.
or he stays in the back. He goes under the house. Like he doesn't normally leave the property at all. So that's where it has me so concerned.
Why don't we take a moment to just sit in silence and just like connect with his higher self now, like our higher selves and his higher self, and maybe just see if you get any messages from him. Because everyone can do this, it's not like, only some of us can do it. We all have this natural ability, right? This telepathic ability. So would you like to do that and see if any of us get a message?
Yeah,
And also, like, let's just ask him, why don't I just like ask a few questions and you ladies can go inside and I'll just like guide you through a little process. Does that sound like a good idea?
yeah.
Okay. So see if you could just imagine where Ted is right now. Connect hearts, first of all, like drop out of your head and really bow down to your knowing, your wise and compassionate heart, your intuitive heart that knows everything. Your heart already knows where Ted is and where Ted is not. So let's just do that for a moment and just breathing into your heart space, in and out, taking a few calming breaths and releasing all the anxiety around this and the fear and the uncertainty. See if you can do that. Release it maybe out of the back door of your heart, wherever it is that you're feeling heavy around this. Trusting that especially the feline kingdom is very, very intuitive and very psychic and uh, very aware of what's happening with you, how you're feeling. They're very tapped. He's very tapped into you as you are to him. And so in a moment, imagine that there's like this cord that's just kind of linking your heart to wherever Ted is, to his heart. And there are no barriers, right? No time and space. We're moving beyond any limitations, right? Or any barriers, barricades, blocks, right? So we're just moving straight to his heart, wherever he is. And just linking in, like kind of sealing the end of that cord, the end of that link into his heart space. And you can imagine maybe a green color, like an emerald green heart, kind of radiating from your heart to his heart, to his little cat heart. And just notice the surroundings, where he is. Does it look dark or light? Do you, and we'll ask his higher self now to help you, to help him reunite. You can let him know that how you feel, that you're worried about him, that you want him to come home, and ask if he's able to come home now. And just notice what you notice for a moment. Is he with people? Is he alone? Is he being fed, cared for? And you can just ask him to help you to find the direction that you need to move into. So is he to the left of you? Is he to the right of you? North, south, east, west? And notice what your body tells you. If you could drop even further down into your gut, your knowing gut, right? Your clairsentience. And just breathe into your stomach nice and big, expanding your belly, and just dropping all the way inside, but also really connecting even more. And just on the out breath, release any other tension that you're feeling. any anxiety. Just notice what you notice and just keep tapping in and plugging in your life force energy to his life force energy. And your higher self can start speaking to him, asking questions to help you to come together again as a family, to reunite as a family. You can tell him how much you love him, how, not that he doesn't already know, but notice if there's a message, like, is there something he needs from you? And is there a reason why he left? Maybe just ask, you know, his soul self, right? The wisest part of him, like his oversoul. Notice if you get a message from him. Maybe it was just a random thing. Maybe he just felt like exploring like cats do. Just wanting to like have a look at the scenery or just be in nature. And does he need your help to find him, or can he find his way back alone? And again, is he alone? What do you sense? And just trust what you sense. Trust what you feel. Trust what's in your heart. And we know that this link, this etheric link, can never be broken, that your hearts will always be connected and linked, right? And lastly, just maybe ask, what is it going to take for you to come home, for us to find each other? Do I need to find you, or will you be able to find me? When you're ready, you can come back from this little exercise, this visualization, improvisation, and just notice like what messages you both received. And we can start with Jeselle, if you'd like to share and please record, get a journal, and write everything down, because tonight before you go to bed, I'd like you to continue this communication session and see if anything shifts and opens up for you. But what did you sense for now over the last few minutes?
He's not scared.
Mm-hmm.
I see it, I feel a light, I like a warmth. Um, and it felt like he was outside still.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I think what it felt like what he was telling me was that I do need to go find him.
Mm-hmm.
He traveled a
Yes.
little too far.
Yep. I'm getting the chills, so that's confirmation that you just spoke truth. So yeah.
That's what I got so far.
Did you ask the direction that he's located in? North, south, east, west?
Yeah, he's east.
North, south, east, west. Okay. Okay. So now you know to travel east. Is he near or far? Or somewhere in the middle? Like
Um,
how far did he wander off?
I have a property across the street from me, and then they have this like forest area. I have one cat that likes to travel that way, and that's where I'm feeling him.
Yeah,
This whole
and I
side of
wanted to
me.
tell you before, I
I
was like the
swear I felt
woods. He's in
him.
the woods far. I felt that too.
I
I'm
felt
getting
him in the
triple
trees.
triple chills.
I
I
felt
felt him
him
in the
in the
forest.
trees. I felt him in the
Yeah,
trees. I was like, because I kept
he's
seeing light and darkness, but it was moving,
Yeah,
like
wow.
that. And I kept because what I first seen was dark, but it was lighting up with like coming through. Oh, and then I first thought it was under a house, like the skirting
yes,
from the holes of
that's
the
what I
skirting.
thought
That's
too.
what I first thought. but then I kept seeing the thing, the light move. And then I was like, nope, he's in trees. He's sitting in trees.
I'm getting that too.
That
Big
is
time.
amazing that all three of us literally picked up on that. And it's not
That's
even
how
your
much we're
cat.
connected.
It's not even
I
your
know. Well, when you're a channel, you can channel anyone and anything in any
Yeah.
timeline, past, present, future. So I was just tapping in, and that's why I was being told those particular questions so that
Hmm.
you could really identify and narrow it down, like what is not happening, but what is happening. And I see like the shadow and the light and the wind or the breeze. And yeah, you want to go east. Is the woods, are the woods in the eastern direction of where you live? Oh,
Yes.
there you go. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
directly east, directly, exactly east,
Yeah.
not southeast, not, but exactly east. And that's where, because at first I felt them like over in your little like
Wow.
area by your, and then I felt them move. Like I felt them move from where the trees are in your yard, but not on the outside of the fence. I felt that, and then I felt him move to another spot and to other trees where he's sitting. That's what I felt.
Now, on a practical level, and this is amazing that we're having this experience together, which was totally unexpected. I didn't plan for this at all.
None of us
And I love
did.
the fact that it's a confirmation that we're all so much more psychic than we think we are, or that we've even give ourselves credit for, that we actually, as infinite beings, we know everything already. There's nothing that we don't actually know. And when we say, oh, I don't know, we're actually lying to ourselves and to everyone else around us. So you actually do know where he is now. And now on a practical level, what how can you make this possible? Like, how thick or dense is this wooded area? How big or small? How deep does it go?
And
Can you go
stop.
yourself? Do you need to take like people with you?
I
Yeah,
probably am gonna need somebody to come with me. I know that it's
yes.
not super thick. Well, it's thick, but it's a small area. Because I
Okay.
know the other side of it is like a construction area, so I know that it's, it has an ending point. But how wide you know, it goes pretty, it's pretty long. And,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure if he hears you,
and that's what I'm thinking is if I can get my,
Keep talking. Yeah, keep talking to him. Keep the line of communication open like a telephone, like an etheric telephone, and just keep talking to him and say, like, I'm coming. I'm coming for you. Don't worry, I'm coming, so that he hears you,
I
right?
think he's directly behind, like where I'm getting is that he's directly behind the house in the, like, in the wooded area.
So
that's what
then
I
that's
kept
where he
getting
is.
was directly behind a house. I think that's why I seen like your area first, and then it was
Yeah.
like, and it moved to a different spot because it was like directly behind a house in this thickness of a little forest area, not a big forest area, but just a little bit of thickness where he's kind of like, I'm feeling a little nervous about where I'm at, and I'm not wanting to get any more lost. That's what I felt.
Yeah. So then, and he's alone then, I'm assuming.
Yes.
He's not with
Mhm.
anyone.
Hmm.
Um, that's what I'm getting to. So yeah, take some people, like call whoever you need to go with you. You don't want to go alone, because definitely it would be easier and faster if you take like a group of people, even a few people with you, and start a search, and go right away. Because also, I don't know how the weather is, but here it's been very volatile. It hasn't really been
Maybe that's why he got
raining all
stuck
week, but
because of the rain on Wednesday.
I mean, yeah, that's a possibility. That's why I would just, I don't know, I keep getting the message like go without delay, like don't like keep putting it off and hoping that he might come back, because I don't think he can. Like I think he's that lost where he's not really sure which direction to go. But now that you got a clear idea of where he is, I think jump on it. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
just go look right away. Like don't keep putting it off and saying, well, maybe he'll come back. because maybe, of course, he wants to, but maybe he can't.
Yeah.
So, so this is good. So let's thank him for coming in today,
Is
and like just tell him that it's okay, that you're on the way, and that you're going to do the best you can to find him. And also we can call in like maybe like your spirit guides, his spirit guides, and also like Saint Francis, because Saint Francis is the saint of animals. And there are lots of other angels and archangels that watch over animals and protect them.
Hmm.
So I can actually send you a list of those.
Yes, please
That
do.
is, it's in my course that I told you about, Pets and Empaths. And because we're all empathic, right? And they're also empaths. So
Hmm.
so you could feel each other more so. Um, yeah, and thank them, and just send them to him right now. Let's take a moment to do that. So that he doesn't feel scared or alone.
I was gonna say I don't feel him feeling super scared.
Good.
I don't feel. I mean, a little nervous, but not super scared.
Yeah, I'm not getting a super scary feeling either. I'm not getting danger at all. I'm
No.
just getting like he's kind of hanging out, but not sure how to
Yeah,
get
just a
back.
little nervous, a little bit of a nervousness, like, kind of more of a is what I'm getting.
Like a curiosity, like, I
Yes,
wonder where I am,
yes,
I
very
am.
much so.
This doesn't look familiar to
But I
me.
don't know
I
which
must have run here.
direction I need to go for it to be
Yeah,
familiar to me. And
yeah,
yeah, that I'm really picking up on that. Wow, that is so amazing.
it is.
it is. It is a great process. I'm really glad that it was helpful for you ladies.
I
And
hope it
I
helps our
wish
audience.
I hope, yes, whoever is listening, because a lot of people, a lot of my clients over the years have said, my cat is missing, but it's like they assume that the cat, because cats are so smart and
Independent and
psychic and
smart.
highly
Yeah.
intelligent, that they're going to find their way back, but
They
it might
don't
not
always.
always be able to. So you have to make the first move.
Nope, I had a
And
cat that was but in the tree across the street. He climbed all the way to the top of the dang tree so bad that we had to climb. It took four of us to climb up there. He ended up peeing on all of us.
wow, but you're getting that he's in a tree,
No, no, that was an old
right?
cat. That was an old cat.
Oh, but
Yeah,
I thought that's what you said before. Like when you saw him and connected, you saw trees.
Yeah.
yes, yes, yeah.
So he could very well be in a tree, like hiding or just like,
Not knowing how to
yeah,
get
whatever.
down.
Yeah. So take some tall people with you, strong people with you, like to help you to, I don't know if you're going to need a ladder or like whatever it is, but and just keep calling his name and keep the lines of communication open so he can hear you,
Th-
you know.
Thank you.
Can hear your spirit calling him, and I wish you the best. I really do.
We'll
Please
keep
let
you
me know what
updated.
happens.
We will.
Yes, please do, because now I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to be thinking about him
I think
too.
we will
And
have
if
to keep
anything
our
else,
audience updated.
Right.
yes, everyone who's listening. And what was I going to say? If anything else comes to me, any other messages come through or guidance, I'll definitely reach out to you and I'll let you know
Yes,
what I
please.
get.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, most of all, keep your heart open.
Yes.
That's the most important thing, even though it may be hard to do that because we want to protect our hearts and it's maybe too painful right now, but still keep your heart open so he can feel your heart too, as well as your energy and your spirit. So, whew, that was like really beautiful. Um, yeah, so I guess
Welcome to
anything
another
else that we went
episode on Looking Through the Glass. We just
exactly. Exactly. I mean, so unexpected, but the felines are also like there are felines in the goddess world, right? There is Sekhmet, who's a lioness goddess that I work with a lot. I channel her energy, her spirit, and then also Bastet, who's the cat goddess. So You might want to, I could send you some information about Goddess Bast or Bastet. She's half cat, half human, half woman. And she's kind of like the softer qualities of a cat, like the intuitive, divine feminine qualities. And then Sekhmet is more the fierce, ferocious, like wild
The
woman, kind
wildness.
of lion, right? Like the wild, yeah, the
Well,
wild one.
so
Yeah.
as a vet tech, what we were taught is that cats are the closest to the wild, to being the most wild animal. Like they are the closest.
Mhm.
It takes one generation for them to turn back wild, and 10 generations to breed that wild completely out of them.
Wow.
Hmm.
Interesting that you say that because I know we have to go in a few minutes, but I have a close friend who has a cat for 3 years now. They've bonded. The problem is this cat, I don't know if the cat was feral. She said it wasn't, but I believe that it was. And the cat is constantly scratching her husband, scratching her son and his girlfriend. Um, she can't have any visitors. He's also bit people. He bit her mother, where he actually took like a huge chunk of skin
Oh,
of tissue out of her leg,
yeah.
and she will not give. She can't give him up.
Well,
And
yeah.
and
What are you going to
so
give them up to? Like, who are you going to give them up to?
yeah, because, of course she doesn't want to put him down.
No.
So I called, so when my cat Sydney was put down, I am still in touch with a grief counselor from this animal hospital called Berg in Brooklyn. And I asked her what she would suggest because obviously, yeah, like who's going to take him, right? And she just gave us the name of an animal behaviorist. I know that they're really
Lots of
expensive though.
hardcore play. A lot of hardcore play. Make them pant. Get that energy out because it could be a buildup of energy from because
Mm,
like I said, it does take 10 generations. So he may not have been feral, his mother may not have been feral, but his grandmother could have
another
been.
generation.
Yes. So and it
That
that
makes sense.
yeah, and it does come out. And as a person who has rescued many, many, many cats, can't help it. They when they're born out in the even though they are domestic, they're still born out there, and they still like my cat Jinx, my one-eyed cat. She will throw fits. She will get mad. She will do little nibbles, not hardcore bites, but she'll scratch or something like that if you don't let her outside and she doesn't get to go outside and play. Like she has to go outside and play, or she gets super angry. She'll pee on my
Yeah.
floor, or she'll act
Yeah, they
out.
can be very vindictive too.
This,
Yeah, they
there,
will do that.
yes. So
Um, but like in your case, it makes sense because there's an explanation for that behavior. But
yeah,
in her case, it doesn't seem like she's able to find an explanation that might shift it because I've asked her so many questions because, communicating with animals for so
yeah.
long and people being a medium. And she's like, yeah, nothing. I'm like, is there something that she needs that you're not giving her? Like, when does this happen? Who does it happen with? And there seems to be no
No
pattern
pattern at
where it
all.
really makes sense. Like, no warning, no trigger. She'll just like lash out. She'll also hiss.
Hmm.
And I'm like, you don't really know before you got her, like where she actually came from. But
Yeah,
it does sound like she's feral, and I feel so bad for her. So I don't know if an animal behaviorist is going to help her, but everyone in our family is telling her, you need to get rid of this cat because it's ruining our lives. They have no quality of life because
yeah.
they never know when they're going to get
What?
attacked. And
Right?
the thing is, she doesn't even mind. She's that like patient, I guess, where she doesn't, unless she's just a masochist, but she doesn't mind getting scratched. I'm like looking at her arms, I'm like, are these new scratches? She's like, yeah. I'm like, you don't mind? Like, I would be terrified. I would not be able to live like that. I would need to come up with a solution right away for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, yeah, that's fine. But then get this, I have a client, and this client developed cat scratch fever. There's a official name for it,
Yeah.
and it's related to Lyme's, like a tick bite.
Yep.
And she is, and she doesn't know if it was her daughter's kitten that scratched her randomly. He just kind of pounced on her out of the blue. She still has symptoms like months and months later. I think it's gotten a little bit better, but she's been on antibiotics and nothing really seems to help. And so she thought, oh, maybe it's not the cat that had anything because the cat's been tested and it's clean. Maybe it's something within her that was dormant that came out,
And
some type of autoimmune or something like
yeah.
that, that when the wound occurred, that opened up, that led to these other problems. But it's crazy, like this whole cat conversation.
Yeah, this whole episode, for you guys out there that are still around for all of this, we appreciate you more than we can express. Like,
Yes,
you can't fake
absolutely.
this. This is something you can't fake. What we just did, what we just said, you can't fake it. You just
Right.
literally watched all three of us connect to a cat and have the exact same thing and say the exact same thing, have the exact same feeling. So we literally all three connected with the same cat live. Well, not live, but in this recording. So it does show that it is possible, it
Yes.
is real, and it's not fake. That part of the energy field that people fail to recognize or don't want to recognize, it is real. And we just proved it.
And we all have these psychic, telepathic abilities, these gifts,
Yep.
the power of intuition, and that we actually really, it's all inside of us. And it's just a
Hmm.
question of gently, like, opening up to that and expanding into all that we are and our full potential, because we're all connected. And so I've never seen your cat. I don't have a picture of your cat. This was all spontaneous,
Yeah.
not pre-planned. I mean,
It was
it's
so
really,
spontaneous, by the way, people.
I know, I know, I love it. I love when spirit brings us together and, kind of whispers to me like what's needed most at this time.
Love it
I
too.
also saw him a minute ago running really fast. So I don't know. It
Look,
seems like
maybe
he's
he's
still in the
playing a
woods
little
or
bit.
somewhere.
He might be taking.
Maybe. It was like kind of running fast. Maybe he's playing, or maybe working off some energy. But yeah, like, so what's your plan, Giselle? Like, what are you gonna do? What are the next steps for you and your search?
Oh, well, I'm gonna get off of this and I'm gonna go get dressed.
Yeah.
And I already texted my brother and was like, hey, are you going to sleep? No. I was like, can you come help me?
Oh, yay! So beautiful. Please keep me posted, and if you need any help or anything like that, or any support, I'm here for you, for both of you.
Thank you.
And for your kitty, for your dear kitty. So just like try to keep visualizing that he's safe, well, healthy, everything is okay. Just envision him okay. You know what I mean? Like not in danger, and that you could really tune in and zone into exactly where to go. Just keep asking him, show me which way to go, even if you get lost yourself. Just
Hmm.
allow your body, this is important, allow your body to tell you which way to go, not your mind, your body.
Yeah.
And just walk in that direction. Don't second guess yourself or overthink, you know? And if you need to stop for a minute and regroup, do that. And then whatever feels right, just go in that direction. And then let me know ASAP what
I
happens.
will. I
I'm
will.
wishing you the best. Thank you so much. And
Thank you.
everyone knows how to find me, right?
Well,
Right, Sela?
yes, everybody knows how to find you. We'll make sure that they do know how to find you, as we always
You-
do. We
Thank you.
appreciate you coming on here, and we thank Spirit
Of course.
for having this allowing us to have this conversation and grouping us together at this time right now and just all this time of need. I think it's amazing. For those of you that want to contact us, reach out to us at 12 looking through THRU 34 the glass at gmail.com. You can reach us at our Instagram and all of our things. We actually even have a website now. Woo at riverside.com. What is it? What is it called, Jeselle?
Litt G.
Oh yeah, littg at riverside.com. If you could go and subscribe for us, that will give you all of us and a newsletter that we have started. So thank you very much,
Yay.
everybody. We appreciate you more than you know. And remember, stay safe and connected.